Welcome back. I'm going to give you guys a cheat code in the automotive industry for exhaust systems. Above us is we have the 4-cylinder Subaru engine. They do have an aftermarket cat on here, and surprisingly, this one's held up for about 3 years now. How about that? The customer's here for oil change and some oil leaks. We got oil pan seepage, oil filter seepage, rear cam plugs on both cylinder head seepage. We also have valve cover seepage over here. But for 230,000 miles, not bad. This vehicle, like some of the other vehicles in this trim package, comes with, if you see that over my head, 2 mufflers. And you see that the vehicle body is stamped for 2 mufflers. You also notice the bumper cover is cut out for 2 mufflers. See the cutout? But what the vehicle doesn't have is the hanger for this muffler. So a certain trim level comes with dual exhaust. Is it necessary to have dual exhaust on your low output Subaru? What is this, a Forester, Caleb? Outback. Subaru Outback PZEV, the most stubborn catalytic converters to try and satisfy that aftermarket. That just kind of gives you an idea at 230,000 miles how well that this Subaru runs. A little story about this car is this vehicle was serviced at Subaru for the entirety of its life until the customer met us. Looking at this high mileage Subaru, I said, I'm starting to notice things weren't being serviced. And the lady saying, well, I had that done, I had that done, I had that done. I'm like, well, according to what your vehicle showed me with my pictures, and we take pictures and video, they haven't. Air filter, cabin filter, a bunch of other shit. They put a battery in it, the battery hold down wasn't installed right, a bunch of things. So she's like, all right, well, now you guys are gonna be my mechanic, you're giving me videos, you're taking care of my problems. And at 200-something thousand miles, you're not really maintenance in your car anymore. It's getting close to restoring worn or mechanically failed prone parts. So the first round for us was she was at Subaru, and I think they told her like $6,000 to replace the whole exhaust system. And I think we were half that price or probably less. She was like, great. And that's that aftermarket converter up there because she had a P0420 code. We also advised the maintenance for that. She's like, oh, I had spark plugs done and I had this done. We pulled the spark plugs out. They looked like they were never done. Just more proof that, is the dealership really doing the work? I don't know. All I can say is she had receipts, but my proof is showing that they weren't done or they haven't been done in a long time. So we do the exhaust work. And then I guess a few months later, she needed hub bearings. We did that. The dealership did brakes all the way around on it before I got to the car on the exhaust. She went back to the dealership for an oil change. They told her she needed inner and outer tie rods. I said, well, you could probably get away with it. I'm pretty sure this is the car. Yeah. I said, let's check it and see. She didn't need inners, but the outer boots had dry rot cracks on it. So I was like, yeah, I mean, you could drive it with the tie rod boots cracked. I mean, they could last a lot longer. And she's like, well, just, replace them. They said that they were bad, so you don't need the inners. We just did the outers, set the toe. And then I think the final straw for her where she said, I'm just buying a new car. And I said, well, that's foolish because this car's got plenty of life in it. Between what the dealer was doing or what they weren't doing and what we were doing at 230,000 miles on the Subaru, that it doesn't need a diff, it doesn't need a motor, it doesn't need a timing chain, the head gaskets aren't leaking oil. Like all the common shit that Subarus suffer in their lifespan, at 230,000 miles, this car doesn't have it. She comes in one day and the upper radiator hose blew off and she said, I just want you to put it back on. I'm like, whoa, here you go. We don't just slide the hose back on. We need to look at it to see what happened here. Did it overheat? Did the fan stop working? Did the radiator just fail because it's original? Turns out it's just a radiator nipple and failed because it's plastic, and it was the original radiator for 200,000 miles. So we said, hey, it's really not that bad of a job. It needs a new radiator. I've had it with this car. I'm not putting any more money in it. Or like, we told you that once you start reaching this mileage, you're not just maintenance in this car anymore. You're restoring it, and your car's really not that bad. I said, this car will last you another 10 years if you work on it. Now, Larry's been driving it for 2 years. She said, well, let me see what the dealership wants to give me. Subaru, here's going to go back to Subaru, the guys who were screwing her the whole time.
Yeah.
Not the whole time.
Like
yeah.
$200.
They offered her $400 for the car. She said, would you give me $400 for the car? I was like, absolutely 100%. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna do to this car. I'm gonna fix it and sell it, and someone's gonna enjoy it. And guess who's enjoying it? Right here. Their back needs an oil change, a couple oil seepages, tires are getting a little low, but that's nothing. Nothing at all for this car. But back to the story with the exhaust system. Do you have to put the dual exhaust system back on your Subaru? It depends on how much power your Subaru is making. The exhaust system is really designed for that car and motor package, but I will tell you, this vehicle here does not need dual exhaust, and you don't need that expense. You can just go to the single exhaust system and save yourself some money. When we were driving to Pennsylvania the other day, we saw a Subaru, and I said, damn, he's got a brand new exhaust on there, brand new dual exhaust with a trailer hitch. I know what this cost aftermarket, and if they replaced the whole system, they had a really nice job. And if they only did the common center pipe, wide pipe, and mufflers, that's still probably like, I don't know, $1,500 job at the shops that aren't exhaust shops. So you don't have to go back to that. If you want to keep your vehicle the way it was, absolutely, we advise that. But if your budget is, you know, trying to save a few $100s to get your exhaust system on your Subaru back together, you can go with the single exhaust. It does not increase the back pressure. Really, there isn't that much back pressure on a 4-cylinder Subaru non-turbo. The turbocharged one, I would advise stick with what they got as far as the exhaust system goes, but non-turbo, naturally aspirated. You see it right here. It's basically the same exact engine in other Subarus. One comes with dual exhaust, one doesn't. Now, when you step up to the V6, it's a whole different story. You know, I wouldn't advise you going from a dual exhaust to a single exhaust on a V6 or a V8. All right, guys, I hope this saves someone some money. Thanks for watching.